Can you feel that? That's an 8.2 on the news Richter scale. Let's go! How's it going, everybody? This is Dave LeClaire with Magsafe Tech Bytes, and we are here to take a look at the biggest tech stories from the last couple days, including the weekend, which, fear not, stuff happened over the weekend. So without further ado, why don't we sit back and hop in, and let's dig into the biggest tech stories from the last couple days, like it's a big old tasty sandwich. Just news. So in our first story of the day, apparently Apple's new Magsafe technology can actually interfere with pacemakers and other devices of that nature. A support document first spotted by Mac Rumors points out that Magsafe accessories can actually interfere with these devices, which can end up leading to some pretty serious problems, obviously. The support document reads, iPhone contains magnets as well as components and radios that emit electromagnetic field. All Magsafe accessories, each sold separately, also contain magnets, and Magsafe chargers and Magsafe Duo charger contain radios. These magnets and electromagnetic fields might interfere with medical devices. Apple recommends keeping these medical devices at least 6 inches away from any accessories or 12 inches away while wireless charging is happening. The document goes on to say, medical devices such as implanted pacemakers and defibrillators might contain sensors that respond to magnets and radios when in close contact. To avoid any potential interactions with these devices, keep your iPhone and Magsafe accessories a safe distance away from your device. Consult with your physician and your device manufacturer for specific guidelines. So essentially what it means is it's the chargers that are the biggest risk, not the actual phone itself, but rather the Magsafe charging devices are what will cause the biggest risk to pacemakers and defibrillators and other medical devices. So as always, if you have one of these devices, you're probably aware of this, but you need to be careful around devices like magnets, as they can cause pretty serious health problems. So if you have one, just be careful. If you get an iPhone 12, maybe avoid those Magsafe accessories. Microsoft had a rather interesting weekend this past weekend, as the company decided that it wanted to increase the prices of Xbox Live Gold. And as you might expect, Microsoft fans and the gaming community as a whole was not too thrilled with the decision. And let's be real, not too thrilled, that's an understatement. They were really, really angry. Now, in spite of the poor decision, Microsoft did make good on it, and it actually admitted that it was wrong, which is pretty rare for a big company to do. Usually they have some kind of corporate speak that says how we listen to the players, but we understand the changing costs of the blah, 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 blah. This time Microsoft straight up said, we were wrong, you were right, we're not going to increase the price, which personally I think is quite commendable, to step up and admit that you made a bad decision and you're going to undo that decision. While we totally get that there's a lot of expenses that go into running a service like Xbox Live, between paying developers for the free games that the company hands out, keeping the servers alive, keeping everything running smoothly, updating everything, the fact of the matter is there was a market price that gamers were willing to pay. Microsoft wanted to test the market to see if gamers would be willing to pay more, and they put their foot down really, really hard and said, nope, we are not willing to pay more, and the price stayed the same. So in the end, a bunch of stuff happened, and everybody got mad, everybody yelled back and forth at each other, and we ended up right back where we started. So, enjoy your Xbox Live, friends. One of the more baffling decisions that Apple made over the years, and let's be real, the company has made some pretty strange decisions when it comes to its hardware, but one of the more confusing ones was removing the SD card reader from its MacBook devices. I mean, Apple squarely markets its devices as being made for creatives and people who are going to be doing video editing and photography, so to not have a way to import your photos and videos into your computer was just insane. Obviously, the company wanted to sell you USB-C dongles, which you could then use to import, but that's a whole nother expense on top of it. And it didn't make sense for it to just not have an SD card slot or a micro SD card slot right on the device. Fortunately, if a new report is to be believed, it looks like that's not going to be a problem anymore, as apparently Apple is planning on bringing that SD card slot back to MacBook devices. The report comes from Bloomberg, which is a pretty reliable source, and it basically says that Apple is kind of looking at things that its fans have not been happy with, one of which is the removal of the SD card, and looking at ways to rectify the situation, which in the case of the SD card is pretty easy. Put an SD card slot on the laptop. Apple may want you to believe that USB-C devices are everywhere and that everybody's using USB-C for everything, but the fact of the matter is, we're not. We still use regular USB ports, we still use SD cards, we still use micro SD cards. These are things that people need on their computers. While we understand that the inclusion of traditional USB ports makes the laptop thicker and is therefore not necessarily ideal, a micro SD card slot adds almost no depth or weight to a computer, so it really doesn't make any sense to not have it. and clearly the only reason is to sell additional accessories. So it's good to see that Apple is allegedly backtracking on that and including this very, very basic component back into its laptops again. And in our final story of the day, Microsoft has patented a new technology for AR glasses that will allow them to see through the fog. Of course, nobody really uses AR glasses yet. The models that are out there are not exactly setting the world on fire in terms of sales, but it's cool to see companies like Microsoft and others willing to put in work and keep trying to enhance this technology so that someday it can become truly viable and I can replace these boring old glasses with ones that will do all kinds of cool stuff. The technology is similar to what's used for night vision goggles, but basically it would allow the AR glasses to determine what is ahead of you, even if there's smoke, fog, or any other dense thing that would be blocking your view traditionally. So even though you can't see that there's a tripping hazard up ahead of you because there's fog in the way, the AR glasses would be able to detect that and then fill in the blanks and show you what is in front of you, or at least a representation of what's in front of you, which could be really cool if you're forced to drive in the fog, or if you're forced to go for a walk at night to get home in the fog, or if you're trapped in your house during a fire and there's smoke everywhere, you can see a path out. It's really cool. Obviously, this is future technology. We're not going to be buying AR glasses with these next month, but it is really interesting to see where AR glasses could go down the road, and this Microsoft patent is just another step in that direction. Which brings me to the question that I'm curious about for all of you guys today. Would you buy a pair of AR glasses if they were available right now and they had features like being able to see through fog as well as other AR features that we've heard about in the past? Or do you think they're a little too intrusive to have technology looking at what you're looking at? What do you think? Do you think AR is the future, or is this a gimmick technology? Hit the comment section, sound off, and let us know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this episode of Make Use of Tech Bytes. It has been an eventful journey, but we have made it through. Thank you so much. We will see you guys in the next episode. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that other good stuff. And you guys have a fantastic day.